Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. This week, United States Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid continued trashing ordinary Americans over land grabs. And you need to be concerned because the land grabs haven't ended. And who knows, will your land be next? You know, Reid labeled opponents of his federal land grab domestic terrorists. This after calling terminally ill cancer patients who say that they've lost their doctors liars, and calling a prominent family that builds hospital wings, schools, and gives away hundreds of millions of dollars to charity un-American. Senator Harry Reid, the name-calling goes both ways. So, Senator, I've decided to change your name to Harry. Dirty Harry. The story that I'm about to tell you starts with Dirty Harry's longtime senior aide, his puppet on a string with virtually no experience at the Bureau of Land Management, who now runs it. That bureau today eyeing 116 miles on the border between Texas and Oklahoma, an estimated 90,000 acres that BLM says belongs to the public. So what's behind these land grabs? Are they really about protected animals like tortoises and owls? Or might Dirty Harry be up to something more sinister? Now, the state of Nevada is essentially desert. For years, Dirty Harry introduced bills transferring federal land to county commissioners to sell to profiteers building homes and shopping malls, not giving a damn about the tortoises, routinely killing them, all sanctioned by BLM. Tortoises be damned. Now, fast forward. A newfound concern for the tortoise. How dare the cattle graze where the tortoise should roam? So Harry Reid, so incensed that armed military-type agents come in like stormtroopers. The BLM, with no police authority, comes in like military paratroopers to move some cows? You need snipers to move cows, Harry? Really? And then miraculously, you back off for so-called, quote, safety reasons. So, Harry, why did your guys show up armed to the teeth like they're about to fight al-Qaeda if you were so concerned about safety? Folks, a little primer here. If a developer wants to build a mall or a solar energy complex where protected species live, they have to find a mitigation area to move the protected species there, in this case, the tortoise. Bottom line, building where there's a protected animal requires that you move that animal somewhere else where it can survive. So, folks, this is bigger than Bundy, whose comments recently, by the way, were outrageous. But it's bigger than him. And herein lies the rub. Dirty Harry's son-in-law is in a firm that represents a Chinese company that wants to develop the largest solar energy complex in America, in, guess where? Nevada. On land occupied by the tortoise. On land that Harry Reid's son helped locate for the Chinese and helped them purchase at well below market value. Appraisal? Between 28 and 36 million. Purchase price? 4.5 million. Now, Dirty Harry himself is pals with the owner of that Chinese company, energy tycoon Wang Yuso, who hosted Dirty Harry in China and who Harry featured at one of his events. How to seal the deal? Get rid of those pesky tortoises. Query: where should the Chinese put the tortoise? Harry and his puppet have an answer. Harry proposes a mitigation area. The BLM, Bureau of Land Management, actually posts documents on its website designating the mitigation area so that the solar power project can move forward. Unfortunately, that designated mitigation area has cattle on it. So at first blush, everyone said, no, this land grab has nothing to do with Harry's solar energy plant because that was going to be 50 miles away. But folks, it has everything to do with the land grab. The land where the cattle grazed was the mitigation area that BLM posted so that the solar power project over here could go forward. Bingo! In true Dirty Harry mode, you move the cow so that we can move the tortoises there so that Harry's pal and the Chinese clients of Harry's son can build the solar energy plant. Guess what? The BLM deleted the document that was entitled Cattle Trespass Impacts Solar Development. A little too incriminating, you think, Harry? You know, it's no surprise that people who represent us in Congress are more concerned with lining their own pockets and the pockets of their family members than they are of representing us. Dirty Harry's arrogance, his condescension, and his name-calling is only surpassed by his chutzpah. Now, Dirty Harry came into Congress with $1.8 million. He made a few $100,000 a year, and then reports a net worth of more than $10 million. Harry, here's what I think. The questions were getting a little too close for comfort, so you called off your paramilitary raid on the cows using safety as an excuse. But safety had nothing to do with it, unless, of course, you're talking about the safety of your reputation. Harry, in my other life, I did investigations. I presented cases to grand juries day in and day out. Oh, to be a prosecutor again. Oh, to present this to a grand jury. Oh, to put Dirty Harry under oath on the witness stand. Oh, to be able to say, go ahead, Harry, lie to me now. Lie to me under oath. Go ahead, Harry, make my day. And that's my open. With me now, a Texas rancher with up to 1,000 acres of land at stake, Lane Chapman. All right, Lane, do you see this as another land grab, what the BLM is now saying regarding what you say is your property?
Ma'am, it has absolutely everything to do with the land grab. This land, it is in no way federal land. It's been in my family. I found out today. I went back and looked, and I was told since 1886. We have other property that's probably been in my family since the 1960s. But either way, it's been taxed for over a century or for multiple generations.
All right. So Lane, you're saying that you've been paying taxes on this property that the federal government and Harry Reid and his Bureau of Land Management are saying that is public property?
That is correct, ma'am. That is the main difference between what is going on in the western part of the United States and in Texas. That out there is BLM land. It is land that is leased to an individual. This land in Texas is owned. It has a deed that was handwritten, ma'am. I have the deeds. And it's taxed every year. We pay our taxes early, generally. This is truly private property. It is defined in every aspect of it. Actually, even when you look what the courts have done, it's been defined. What is Texas? What is Oklahoma? In Texas, we respect the border. The border is the southern side of the water. I mean, what is the vegetation? Not sparse vegetation, but where the vegetation actually touches.
Okay. And let me just say this. What I want to do is read what the Bureau of Land Management says and get your response to it. The Bureau of Land Management, quote, is categorically not expanding federal holdings along the Red River. The 140 acres in question were determined to be public lands in 1986 when the U.S. District Court ruled on a case brought by two private landowners, each seeking to adjust boundaries for their respective properties. The BLM was in no way involved in the litigation between these landowners, and the 140 acres at no time were held in private ownership. Lane, you've been paying taxes. You say you see this as another potential land grab. What do you think they're trying to do? Why are they doing this?
Well, ma'am, to answer your first question, you kind of ask what the BLM is doing, and they say that they're not expanding acres, and I see that as the BLM actually saying that they're not expanding acres because they believe that they already own them. And the truth is, it's by our grace that the BLM actually is still what they are. I mean, we're a republic. It's a government by the people, and the people support that. So they're expanding acres. They do not own those acres. Next, what could it be? It could be anything from the recreational value of it. Right now, land in Texas is not necessarily driven by production, but it's driven by the money that can be derived from what could be recreation, hunting, fishing, horseback riding, people going out on the weekends. I mean, it would be creating access to acres that they could actually benefit from. And along with that also is what is going on in the petroleum industry right now. Oil and gas, it's booming. I mean, and there's nothing that makes me more proud than seeing another oil rig stood up on the horizon, because, I mean, those are jobs for the American people. And at the same time, I mean, that's an industry that is growing. So if the government could get their hands on something that could be a lucrative in that standpoint, I mean, that's a paycheck every month.
All right. You know what? You have distinguished your situation from the one in Nevada. But do you see a potential, a similar situation where people from around the country come and join you in an effort to show their support?
Ma'am, that's one thing. I would hope that they would definitely give us support, because private property rights are, I mean, they're at the core foundation of this country. We're people that are separated from the government, and I would hope that people are in support of us. Now, does that support have to come in ways of people showing the force that they did? I don't necessarily know if that's the truth, but people need to stand up for what their rights are. And in the state of Texas, we have private property rights. They were defined by Greg Abbott and the governor just several days ago.
All right. You know, Lane Chapman, there's a saying, don't mess with Texas. We wish you all the best. Thanks for being with us this evening.
Ma'am, thank you for allowing me to be on.
All right. Thank you. And coming up, the Obama administration's IRS is at it again. This time, you're not going to believe this one, shelling out more than $1 million in bonuses to IRS employees who were tax cheats. You're not going to believe this. And vote in tonight's Insta poll. What's behind the federal government's land grab in Texas and Nevada? Facebook or tweet us at Judge Jeanine. Dirty Harry's longtime senior aide, his puppet on a string with virtually no experience at the Bureau of Land Management, who now runs it. That bureau today eyeing 116 miles on the border between Texas and Oklahoma. An estimated 90,000 acres that BLM says, and who knows, will your land be next? You know, Reid labeled opponents of his federal land grab domestic terrorists. This after calling terminally ill cancer patients who say that they've lost their doctors liars, and calling a prominent family that builds hospital wings, schools, and gives away hundreds of millions of dollars to charity un-American. Senator Harry Reid, the name-calling goes both ways. So, Senator, I've decided to change your name to Harry. Dirty Harry. The story that I'm about to tell you starts with... Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. This week, United States Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid continued trashing ordinary Americans over land grabs. And you need to be concerned, because the land grabs haven't ended. Belongs to the public. So what's behind these land grabs? Are they really about protected animals like tortoises and owls? Or might Dirty Harry be up to something more sinister? Now, the state of Nevada is essentially desert. For years, Dirty Harry